Hello everyone, and welcome back to another screencast on transformations, and this one is enlargement. And to be honest, it's taken me ages to do this one, so hopefully it comes out well, and I'm sure you'll find it really, really easy. I'm going to go step by step, nice and slow. Here we go. So first things first, what is an enlargement? Well, in maths, an enlargement is uniform scaling, which means that everything stays in proportion. So it's a similar shape. Angles are the same, lengths are different, but they've been enlarged by the same amount. So if it's twice the size, every length is twice as long. Things like that, okay? So it's a uniform scaling. So let's have a look at this shape. This is our original shape. I'm going to enlarge it by a scale factor of 2 because obviously we've got 2 by 2. Now it's 4 by 4. So everything's being times by 2 when it comes to lengths. Now I'm going to give you a scale factor of 3 because this is 3 times the size. I've got 2 here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 2 here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And that's really simply what it is. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the first one here. We're going to look to enlarge the shape by a scale factor of 2. And we can position it anywhere on the screen that we'd like. So I don't really think you need to watch me do it. I want you to give it a go yourself, see how you go, pause the video, come back and see if you've got it correct. All right, so let's go. This original shape is 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 by 3. Our new shape, scale factor of 2, should be 6 by 6. So let's have a look. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I know that that shape is correct. Now, we try not to use this type of line because it's very difficult to, often is very difficult to use for scale factor of enlargement. Okay, so try not. But if we did measure it with a ruler, they would be double the length. Okay? So let's do the next one. Pause the video, give it a go, but look at this one. It's a scale factor of 3 this time, so don't do a scale factor of 2. Do a scale factor of 3. Pause the video, give it a go, come back and see if you've got it correct. Okay, so I say okay a lot. I do apologize. So this one is 2 by 2. Can we see that? That the height is 2 squares. So the new shape, so it's 2 by 2. Yeah? So the new shape should be 6 by 6. Let's have a look. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I also know I'm correct there. So hopefully you've done that well. I'm sure you have. You'll absolutely be fine. And the last question before we move into enlarging them from a central point of enlargement. This is if you're wondering what the little X's are for, that's what it's going to be. We'll learn about those in a second. Pause the video now, give it a go. Remember, you're enlarging it by a scale factor of 2, and you can position it anywhere on your page. Okay, so this original shape is 2 by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the new shape should be 4 by 8. We're timesing both of these by 2. And let's have a look. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that bit's correct. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, often we find people find this easy, but they make a silly error. They might do it in an extra square, or they might do it 1 square less. So it's well worth just taking your time on this. Okay. So now we're going to go over to my other screen, and we're going to go through how to make these enlargements through a center of enlargement. It is really simple, and a lot of the skills you've just learned, you're going to use to do this as well. So take your time. Remember, be accurate. This is a construction, so be accurate. Enjoy it. And then after that, we're going to go and do the quiz. Okay, in today's video, we're going to enlarge these shapes by not just a scale factor of 2 that we can see, but from also a central point of enlargement. Now, before, you just enlarge by scale factor, so you should already know how to do that. So this is how we do it. First step is to get some tracing paper. I'm using baking paper because it's in the coronavirus times where we can't get into school at the moment. So if you're watching this video years down the track, you'll remember this time. And all I'm going to do is start with enlarging it by a scale factor of 2. Now I'm just using the pencil from my compass. I'd highly recommend using a pencil so that you can rub things out if you make little mistakes. So I'm going to do that now. So it was a 3 by 3, so we can see a 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3. So the new shape will be 6 by 6. The key here is to not move your tracing paper until you've got the new shape. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. There, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. So I'm going to take this away now. I'm going to connect those dots up. And then when I come back, it'll all be done and I'll show you how to use it. So now we've got our new shape. We can clearly see that it's 6 by 6 and it is twice the size, but we have to use the central point of enlargement. So all we do is we grab our ruler and we take from the central point of the enlargement and we go through one of the corners of the shape, okay? And what we do is connect up those lines, but go well past as well. Okay, can you see there now when I take it away, it's a nice long line. We do the same thing on at least normally 2, but 3 points. And we'll see that as we go through some of these questions. Okay, now it's important to be accurate when we do this. Now you can't see that one that well, but it is running straight through here. In fact, I might try and use a pen on this just to make it a little bit bigger for you. So I wouldn't normally use this size pen, but I'm going to use it today just to make it clear about where I'm going through. There we go, nice and thick. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our 2 enlargement lines. All I do now is I pick a side to go through, a point to go through. So I'm going to use this point here. Okay, so I've lined up my point at the top here with the point behind it. And all I'm going to do is move that point, keeping my shape square until all the lines touch. And we can see right there that that's the case. Now, I could have done it a little bit easier. I could have started here with these points matching up and moved across this line here as well. And we can see right at that point, all the lines match up. Now, this, we've got to be really careful. I will slowly take away my tracing paper and I'll slowly input my lines in behind the page so that we can see that the new shape will line up perfectly. And then I'll grab my ruler and draw the new shape. Again, I'm using a much thicker pen than I would normally because I want it to show up on the camera. But hopefully you can understand that and you can clearly see it when you look at the camera there. So I've enlarged my shape, my original shape, by a scale factor of 2 from a central point of enlargement. Normally they might say label your new shape B. Make sure you label your new shape B also. And it will always ask you, or it should always ask you, to leave your construction lines. So make sure you do that also. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next question. Once you see that, pause the video, give it a go, come back and see if you've got it correct. Okay, so with this question, before you pause the video, just make sure you're enlarging it by a scale factor of 3. So the new shape would be 6 by 6. Okay, so pause the video, give it a go and see if you've got it right. Okay, so first step, hopefully you've had some time to do that. First step is to enlarge my shape by a scale factor of 3. So my new shape will be 6 by 6. So let's line up my paper here. I've only got a small piece of paper, so I've got to make as much space as I can. It's my first point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go to the middle, 1, 2, line those back up. This is where you need to be really careful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and put my point there. So I'm going to line up all my dots, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the rest. Okay, so now that we've clearly made that 3 times the size, we've got a new shape 6 by 6. It's time to draw those enlargement lines. So I'm going to place it over there for now. I'm going to grab my ruler. Again, I'm going to use a much thicker pen than I would normally, but just bear that in mind so it's nice and clear for you guys to see on camera, which means it won't be quite as accurate, but hopefully we'll still get a good result. Okay, that's the first one. We can see we're going through 3 points here. We're going through 2 in for the price of 1. And there we go. Okay, so now we place down our shape. Remember, we pick a point on it. So I'm going to pick that back corner there. Can we see that back corner there? And I'm just going to move along this until we see all the points line up with the lines. Oh, here we go, and we're coming close, and there we go there. So we can see that we're now lined up. If I had gone any further, you can see that that top point isn't quite on the top line. So I need to move it back there, and then very carefully. Now, what some people like to use is their compass, and they use the sharp point to push through to make a little point in the page. And then when you take it away, the points are still there. Okay, that's not a bad one to do, so I could use that. Or you can just slowly, like I've been doing before, get your pen and just slowly move it away, making your points as we go, and then lining up your new points from there. Either way is absolutely fine. In fact, doing a bit of both often can be really successful as well. And then last part is to connect up your lines and then label it the new shape. Okay, so we've got shape A and then shape B here. Okay, so there is one more for you to do before you go off to the quiz. It's a little bit tougher because the centre of enlargement is in the middle of the shape. So I want you to give it a go, have a think about how you do it, and then come back and see if you've got it right. First step, everyone. Remember, the first step is to enlarge your shape by a scale factor of 2 in this occasion. So this one was 2 by 4, so the new shape will be 4 by 8. Again, I've only got a small piece of paper, so I need to use most of it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is there. And then across 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to join all those lines up. When it comes back, it'll all be done. Okay, so we can clearly see there the new shape is twice the size. So now it's time to draw those construction lines. So again, this is terrible. I'm using such a thick pen, but it is much clearer for you. So I will try and continue to be as neat and as accurate as possible, but you'll have to understand if it's not quite right. Especially on this one, because it's hard to be accurate on this one, even with a nice pen. I'm already getting smudges. Okay, so there we go. I've absolutely ham-fisted that one, but we'll get there in the end. Next step is to place over top, and remember what I'm going to do. I'm going to start on one of the corners. It could be that corner, it could be this corner, it could be that one, or it could be that one. And all I'm going to do is move it along that line, keeping it square until all the points line up. And you can see right there that all those points line up. So I'm going to use my compass on this occasion. I'm really going to push down nice and hard. Yeah, and I'm really going to then line up the new ones underneath. So as I take that away, I can see my points here. You may not be able to see them, but I can. Grab my ruler, connect up the dots, or the holes in this occasion. And there we go. So we got there in the end. This one we would struggle to label, wouldn't we? But we could still label A and B, and we might need to shade that in. But we can see definitely that we've enlarged it from a point of enlargement by a scale factor of 2. So now it's time for you guys to give the quiz questions a go. It's a little bit simpler, but it is a funny shape. Remember to go through as many points as you can. Remember to take your time and go through the steps, but I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. So back to the studio and where you can do the quiz. Good luck. It is time for the quiz. We have a shape. It's obviously an L shape. It's a little bit more difficult, so take your time on it. We've got our centre of enlargement here. Enlarge the shape by a scale factor of 2, so everything needs to be twice as big. Okay, give it a go. Pause the video, give it a go, come back and see if you've got it correct. Now it is time to find out whether or not you are a maths genius or something else. Let's go. Let's have a look. So the first thing we did was we should have drawn out our new shape on our tracing paper that's double the size. So I can see this is 1, this is 2. I can see 1, 2, 3, so I should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 2, so this will be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, this is 2. This is 1, this is 2. This is 2, this is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can see that that new shape is correct. But does it fall on the lines? I can clearly see that it does, so I can say that I've got it absolutely spot on. So well done, everyone. I know you've done well. I've got that feeling in me bones that you've done really well. As always, make sure that you go and write a revision card on this topic. And then enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whatever you're doing. And as always, it's been a pleasure helping you with your maths.